I have a question from Moles Bela. It's in Hungarian, and basically he's asking that he gives prasadam to people, but then people throw away. They don't necessarily. These are non-devotees, and just in order to purify them, but they don't necessarily respect the prasadam, and they throw it away. So he's worried. Well, they're committing offenses, and is that offenses that they're committing going to be an obstruction to them later on coming to Krishna consciousness? Um, so the answer is no, and but it's a interesting topic because it's a topic that all preachers face and we deal with, and that is that there are risks involved in preaching. And when we preach, one of the risks is that people who we preach to transgress the basic rules of Vaishnava etiquette. But it doesn't matter. The important thing is that they're getting Krishna consciousness. That's our main concern. First, somehow or another, Dina, Kena, Prakarena, Rupa Goswami says, somehow or another, get people interested in Krishna consciousness. And then later, the rules can come. An example, that in civil society, uh, there are different categories of punishment according to age group. So juvenile delinquents aren't punished in the same way as adults are. If you're 14-year-old and you're a thief, you are not punished in the same way as an adult is. Why? Because you're not mature. You're not expected to actually really fully understand the consequences of what you do, and therefore you're not held liable for those consequences. That's, for instance, Srila Prabhupada said that until children are 5 years old, they don't commit any offenses. They may perform the same act. They may perform some act that we call offensive, but it's not taken seriously because until they become a little older, they have no discrimination. And when people don't have discrimination, then you don't hold them liable or responsible for what they do. Krishna doesn't, anyway. And society doesn't also. And as children grow older, then yes, now you know the difference between right and wrong. You've been taught that. Your intelligence has matured to that stage. Well, now, but before, you could get away, as they say, get away with murder. Now you're going to get the reaction. And you're also going to get punished. You get punished by parents or whatever authorities are involved, and you also become punished by Krishna. Similar situation, and it isn't just with prasadam distribution, but we sell books. Uh, People may throw away the books, even if they don't throw them into the garbage. They take them home and eat meat, do so many other things, keep books in a dirty place, don't properly respect them. But still, the important thing is that they get the books and somehow or another that they get to read them. And if they do, then that will actually bring them to Krishna consciousness. That somehow or another coming to Krishna consciousness is more important, is more valuable than the transgressions that they unknowingly do before they really understand the value of what it is that they have gotten. And therefore, no, there's uh, no reaction to them. It won't be an obstacle to their coming Krishna consciousness. And surely, if we consider the many things that we did in our sort of intern position as we were coming to Krishna consciousness, we also got away with murder. It wasn't an obstacle to becoming a devotee, but rather it brought us closer. For instance, I know stories just recently. Someone was telling me how they used to, get intoxicated and then chant Hare Krishna, and that was what they would do. So, for a mature senior Vaishnav to do something like that, it would be a very serious thing. For someone who's just new to Krishna consciousness and somehow is coming there and who's going to get intoxicated anyway, that they're chanting Hare Krishna for hours while they're doing that, great. Let them do it. It's the chanting will have effect, and gradually, their hearts will become purified. And then, when they become mature, then we'll tell them, okay, but now these are the rules and regulations, and you have to abide by these. And if you don't, then you'll get a reaction. In the same way as when we're out on Harinam, we go out on Harinam, we chant Hare Krishna, and as we're chanting Hare Krishna, then drunk people come up, and they're chanting Hari Hari, and they're making fun of what we're doing. We don't get on their case, hey, you're an aparadi, and so on, and you can't do that. But actually, we just encourage them more. We tell them, yeah, Hari Hari, and we try and encourage that type of chanting. Why? Because they're chanting a type of namabas, and it will have great effect. Then, later on, when they mature, then they'll know, well, neither should I get drunk, neither should I chant Krishna's name in jest, or any such way. I should do it with great reverence. So this is the style and secret of preaching, and it's the risk that preachers take. And on their part, Yaidam paramam guyam madbhaktesh apidasyati aham tam sarva papebhyo. We may think, well, what about me? This person, all right, he doesn't know, but I know, and still, won't I get some kind of reaction? No, certainly not. You become very, very dear to Krishna. Because what are all these rules all about? Sarva Vidhi Nishedashu. They're only serving one goal, is that people become Krishna conscious. So if the greater goal of performing, of getting people to chant Hare Krishna and become devotees is so wonderful, it's so important, that yes, you can do all of these other things. We don't do it purposefully. We're not changing our standards, but we recognize that these things need to be done in order to give people Krishna consciousness. For instance, everyone knows that in hospitals and in medical care, hygiene is such an important thing. You really keep a high standard of hygiene. When I was just actually going to the hospital and to see baby Padma, I had to put coverings over my shoes. I had to put on one of these green coats, even though it was stifling hot. I had to wash my hands twice. So hygiene had to be there. They were very concerned about that, and because we don't want any type of infection to take place. But what happens on a battlefield? The doctor's there, here's someone dying, and in the battlefield, mud and dirt and all kinds of things going on. The doctor doesn't have time to worry about hygiene. He's just got to make do of the best situation that he has. It may not be hygienic, but he's got his medicine, he's got his expertise. He just has to do what he can do and hope for the best. So similarly, we may not always be under ideal conditions, but we need to preach and give Krishna consciousness and have faith that yoga kshema bahamyaham. Whatever shortcoming is there, don't worry about it. Krishna will make it up. The main thing is that somehow or another, let people eat prasadam, let people chant Hare Krishna, let people get books, let people donate, let them come and see the temple, let them associate with devotees and somehow or another. Anything to gradually purify them and bring them closer. Well, not anything,